Live from Nashville, Tennessee, this is the Campfire Cafe on the Equestrian Legacy Radio Network.
They say there's two kinds of folks, the ones that wear boots and the ones that don't. I believe, darling, you and me hold steady in the boot category. Goodbye city life and 9 to 5 living. Our corporate meetings are held in our kitchen. You can't beat our sweet retirement plan. Don't get sick and work as long as you can. This is how we hang and rattle, raising our kids and raising cattle. Let loose on a Saturday night, two-step under neon lights. Our life's a good kind of crazy, keep it together, you and me, baby. Cause the trick of the trade when life unwinds is grit, grace, and bale and twine. They say to make it pay, you gotta roll with the seasons. Make do or do without, know when to sell and when to keep. Our best insurance is in making do. With duct tape, utter balm, and super glue. Give us this crazy life but nothing at all. Our American dream delivered with a draw. That's right, y'all. This is how we hang and rattle, raising our kids and raising cattle. Let loose on Saturday night, two-step under neon lights. Our life's a good kind of crazy, keep it together, you and me, baby. Cause the trick of the trade when life unwinds is grit, grace, and bale and twine. Shuffle the deck and I'll be the dealer. I'll be the yin and you be the yang. You be the boom and I'll be the bang. Mark the ear and I'll burn the brand. Take our chances, make our stand. Because the trick of the trade when life unwinds is grit, grace, and bale and twine. This is how we hang and rattle, raising our kids and raising cattle. Let loose on the Saturday night, two-step under neon lights. Our life's a good kind of crazy, keep it together, you and me, baby. Cause the trick of the trade when life unwinds is grit, grace, and bale and twine. Cause the trick of the trade when life unwinds is grit and grace and mud and dust. We'll work with the bank that in God we trust. And bale and twine.
Live from Nashville, Tennessee, I'm Gary Holt. Joining me is my beautiful co-host, my lovely wife, Mary Kaye. Hey, darling.
Hey, babe.
That was a great song. That was your Grace and Bale and Twine. Good job on that.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Welcome. You're very welcome. Well, you have got a couple of busy months ahead.
Yes.
Just got back from Art of the Cowgirl
Mm-hmm.
out in Wickenburg, Arizona.
Fabulous.
That was
Great
a
event.
blast. That was a blast. By the way, I noticed that they had listed some of the beautiful fashions
Mm-hmm.
that they had seen out there, and you were one of the beautiful fashions. How about that?
It was that was fun. The clothes, it really was fun to see all of that.
Well, I think you had a great time, and I know folks enjoyed seeing you out there. And then you are headed, once you get straightened out there, you're headed to Road to the Horse next week. And
Yes.
that's taking place in Lexington, Kentucky at the Alltech Arena. A big deal. Road to the Horse is the World Championship of Colt starting.
Yes.
And you're going to be performing a couple of different times out there. So that's going to be a lot of fun.
For sure.
Hey,
Yeah,
hold on.
if you live in the area, come to Road to the Horse. It really is very entertaining. And you come for a day or come for the whole thing. It's just a great event.
Well, the people that are competing are from all over the world,
Yeah,
and
and
people
diverse.
come from all over the world every year to attend the event, and so that's a big deal.
And I love that they've included more female trainers this year. So that's
They
always exciting for me to be able to see.
And they have some people that are both English as well as the Western.
Yeah.
That,
So you've got people from different disciplines that are coming together, working with horses that have never been worked with before. You get to see from start to finish. Some big money is won at that event, and you get to see all of the trainers working at the same time. They have round pins, 4 round pins set up. It is fascinating, even if you're not an equestrian. It's just great entertainment.
these are untouched, almost untouched colts that are coming in. They've
True.
been coming in from the 4-6s ranch for years, but last year and
Pitchfork.
this year
Yeah.
they're coming from the Pitchfork ranch.
The
out there.
Pitchfork Remuda. Yeah.
So it should be a great deal. But when you're out there, be sure and look Mary Kaye up. She'd love
Yeah.
to say hi.
Come say hey.
We have a phenomenal show today.
I'm so excited.
We are so looking forward to visiting with our guest. We're going to be talking with the one and only
Drum roll.
R.W. Hampton
That's
in
right.
just a moment. But we're going to talk with R.W. in just a few moments right after this.
The competitors are world-class, the colts are legendary, and the stakes higher than ever. One legendary Pitchfork Ranch Remuda. It all comes down to Road to the Horse, the World Championship of Colt Starting. Watch the world's most skilled horsemen go head-to-head in an intense test of talent, grit, and horsemanship. Don't miss the World Championship of Colt Starting, March 19th through the 22nd, 2026 in Lexington, Kentucky. Get your tickets at roadtothehorse.com.
R.W. Hampton's journey as a Western entertainer is rooted in a lifetime of cowboy experiences and unwavering dedication to his craft. Born with a love for the open range, Hampton grew up in Texas but found his true calling on ranches throughout the American West, where he worked as a wrangler, ranch hand, and horseman. His parents were anxious for him to get a college education, which he tried, but soon found he was more interested in riding a horse and playing his guitar than attending school. R.W. wrote songs based on his experiences on the ranches. He has lived what he sings about: the world of early mornings, hard work, rough horses, maverick cattle, and new ranges, giving listeners a glimpse into the soul of a true cowboy. Most of the time, he played and sang to entertain in bunkhouses and roundup wagons. But periodically, he was invited to sing in public. As time drew on, R.W. received more invitations, many of which paid considerably more than cowboy wages, and earned him widespread admiration from rodeo arenas to international stages. Blessed with a wonderfully rich baritone voice, R.W. has a quality of genuineness about him that resonates when he's on stage, in person, or just through the words of his songs. R.W. has performed all over the U.S., including the Grand Ole Opry in Nashville, and in Washington, D.C. at the Smithsonian Institute. He was a special guest at the 2010 British Country Music Awards in London, and has also appeared at cowboy events in Australia and Brazil. His talents extend beyond music. He's appeared in several films, working alongside such legends as Kenny Rogers and Ben Johnson and Richard Farnsworth. R.W. has received accolades for both his vocal performances and his original compositions. The first of his industry awards came in 1996, when the Academy of Western Artists presented him with their first Will Rogers Awards. naming him both Male Vocalist of the Year and Entertainer of the Year. He was inducted into the Western Music Association Hall of Fame and has earned multiple Wrangler Awards from the National Cowboy and Western Heritage Museum, including the prestigious Director's Choice Award. R.W. has 13 albums to his credit over the past 20 years, including 2 gospel CDs and a Christmas record. Today, Hampton resides with his family on Clearview Ranch near Cimarron, New Mexico, where he lives out the cowboy way he so eloquently sings about. His career, marked by authenticity, faith, and family, has solidified his place as a leading voice in Western music, making R.W. Hampton a fitting inductee into the Texas Cowboy Hall of Fame.
I can't believe we get to call this fella a friend of ours. Please welcome to the show, Mr. R.W. Hampton. Hey, R.W.
Hey, guys. How you doing?
Good.
You're awesome.
Congratulations.
Well, thank you. And thank Barry Corbin for that great intro. He's a great.
You can't confuse that voice.
No, you know that
you cannot confuse that voice. Well, good to have you back on the show. You've got so much going on right now. And since I was talking about Mary Kaye, where she has been and where she's going, the both of you are headed to the National Cowboy and Western Heritage Museum in Oklahoma City for the Wrangler Awards, April 10th and the 11th. And that's a pretty cool deal.
Yeah, and I don't know for sure, but I feel like we'll probably be up at that podium together. And I always enjoy being a co-presenter with Mary. She always just, she plays by the rules, and I always do stupid things.
Oh gosh. Well, I've got photographs of the two of you presenting for a couple of years out there, so that was kind of a cool deal.
It's such that event. It's hard to describe to people what a special event it is, to see not only artists honored, but also, there are working cowboys that have spent their life ranching who are honored at that event, and their whole families come. There is such a spirit of reverence for the lifetime achievements of these people. It's really special. It's a special event.
Well, it really is, and John Wayne described it. I think he had the best description of it when he said it's the Academy Awards of the West. It is. There's so many wonderful awards, associations, and programs, and they're just all wonderful. But the Wrangler Western Heritage Awards is our version of the Oscars, And
well, it's cool. It's cool. I noticed that this year some of the people that are going to receive awards are Toby Keith, but one guy that you have done movies with is Kenny Rogers.
Yes.
So Kenny Rogers will be receiving an award this year at the Wrangler Awards.
Yeah, I wished he was still around, but I had worked for him a few times, and he was just really great to me. In fact, he was the one that signed the papers for me to join the Screen Actors Guild.
Really?
Yeah, when I did a CBS Movie of the Week with him. And, back then, SAG and AFTRA were separate, but you couldn't work unless you were SAG.
Yeah.
But you had to work to be a member of SAG. So they have this, no, it's crazy. Yeah, I know. But what they can do is called the Taft, it's part of the old Taft-Hartley Act, was we have all these SAG people, but only this one person fits who we need.
Oh, wow.
And that's what they did with me. We got all kinds of people who play the guitar, but this is our one singing cowboy. He's non-SAG. Well, once I had worked in that movie, then I was eligible for SAG.
Right.
And so that opened a lot of doors for me. And so,
Well, Wild Horses was the movie that I saw that you did with Kenny Rogers.
That was it.
And Ben Johnson and Richard Farnsworth.
Buck
great
Taylor.
movie. And it's kind of funny because you had been on the show and we talked about Wild Horses, and lo and behold, it wasn't but a day or two later the stinking thing showed up on Circle TV.
Yeah, it does.
And I got to watch it. Yeah. And then it was on again just about a week ago, so I got to watch it again.
And I got to teach Pam Dauber how to two-step because there was a dance scene.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that was interesting. She said, if one more person comes up to me and asks me what it was like to work with Robin Williams, he was getting all the credit. He had just gotten off Mork and Mindy, I think it was.
Right. And it was kind of cool because I had not noticed the first time that I watched the movie, but I did the second time. But Riders in the Sky, our friends, were performing at the dance
Yes, sure did. Ranger Doug and the boys, and I think that was their first foray into screen
movies. Wow!
I think Doug and I established that one time that it was mine and theirs as well.
Well, that was
interesting.
Kind of a cool deal.
Wow.
Well, we want to talk a little bit more about some of the movies that you've been in and are going to be in. But one of the things that has always impressed me, RW, is what a man of faith that you are. And I think that Barry Corbin mentioned you had a couple of albums, Christian albums that you had done. But another place that you perform and are at quite often is Elko. Yes. And so we're going to listen to a great song that you did at Elko and come back and talk more with R.W. Hampton today on the Campfire Cafe. We'll be right back.
Lightning flashed in hoops and circles. Rain in sheets was coming down. Thunder rattled through the gulches as the hoofbeats shook the ground. Cowhands riding hell for leather, begging God for the break of day. The stampede beats the best camp meeting for getting men to pray. When I was but a young lad, I was wild and full of fire. A youth within my teens, but full of challenge and desire. I ran away from home and left my mother and my dad. Though it grieved them so to think their oldest boy was bad. I fell in with an outlaw band, their names were known quite well. How many times we robbed and plundered, I could never tell. This kind of sinful living leads only to a fall. I learned this much and more the night I heard my master's call. One night we rustled cattle, 1,000 head or so, and started them out on the trail that leads to Mexico. When a norther started blowing, lightning flashed about, I thought someone was calling me, I thought I heard a shout. At that moment, lightning struck not 20 yards from me, and it left there was a giant cross where once there was a tree. And this time I knew I heard a voice so sweet and strange, a voice that called from everywhere, a voice that called my name. So frightened I was thinking of sinful deeds I'd done. I failed to see the 1,000 head of cattle start to run. The cattle they stampeded were running all around. My pony ran but stumbled and he threw me to the ground. I felt the end was nearing, that death would be the price, when a mighty bolt of lightning showed the face of Jesus Christ. I cried, oh Lord, forgive me, don't let it happen now. I want to live for you alone, oh God, these words I vow. My wicked past unfolded and I thought 100 head of steers, and the others rushed on by me, and I was left to live. The master had a reason, life is his to take or give. A miracle performed that night, I wasn't meant to die. The dead was formed, a barricade lay 6 or 7 high. Right behind them there was I, afraid but safe and sound. I cried and begged for mercy, kneeling there upon the ground. Pardon I was granted, my sinful soul set free. No more to fear the angry waves along life's stormy sea. Forgiven by the love of God, a love that will remain. I gave my life and soul the night the Savior called my name. I gave my life and soul the night the Savior called my name. He called my name.
R.W. Hampton, the Master's
Wow.
Call.
Wow.
Awesome, R.W.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that song. And I remember, I do that song quite a bit, but I remember that particular recording, and I was having a lot of trouble holding it together because it was a Don Edwards tribute.
Mm.
And Don helped me out so much in his quiet way.
Yeah.
And I just loved him so much. And he had stopped, he was still with us, but he had stopped working at that time. And we knew it wasn't gonna, we just knew, that was the end of that era.
Yeah.
And so it was me and Waddy, and I could see Waddy down there bawling like a baby. And so it was one of those things. But I do remember that particular recording.
2020.
Oh, wow.
2020 was
Yep.
when that was done. And yeah, Don was a good friend to so many of us.
Oh, you bet.
And he'd been on this show so many times. And the last time he was on, you could tell that he was starting to drift quite a bit.
Yeah.
So I will always remember that man. And I will always remember and associate the Master's Call with Don Edwards.
Well, yeah, and that little spoken part on the front of it was something, that's not Marty's deal. Don picked that up.
Interesting.
Added
Yeah.
it to it. I think he read it in a book, and I can't remember one of our great writers and poets, from the early 1900s, lightning flash and hoops and circles, rain like sheets coming down. Thunder rattled through the gulches as the hoofbeats shook the ground. Cowhands riding hell for leather, begging God for the break of day. But a stampede beats the best camp meeting for getting men to pray. Isn't that amazing? And
That's
it goes
awesome.
through the
so
song.
well written.
Awesome,
Wow.
awesome.
If you can figure out who, I'm sure Joe
Who did that?
Yeah. Randy Raymond could tell us, but
Yeah. Somebody out there listening, let us know what that
let
was.
us know.
That would be great. Well, how many times have you done Elko? I mean, you've been a fixture there for so many years now.
Well, I don't know, Gary. Nobody seems to know. I was not there the first year, but I'm thinking I was there probably the third year. And so I got to watch it grow.
Yeah.
Really grow.
Yeah.
And in many ways it morphed into, when I first started going, there's a lot of historians, folklorists. I don't know what the percentage of fans were compared to buckaroos and cowboys that just come out of the sagebrush, but there was a large number of those folks that wandered in.
Yeah.
And it kind of, I'm not saying it's not real, but it just kind of, and that's when I first met, I met him before that, but that's when I first got to work around Ian and Murph and all that bunch.
Yeah,
They
yeah.
And
All right.
I'm thinking, in answer to your question, it was probably the third year.
Okay.
And depended on the program's person, I've gone a bunch in a row, and then I've not been asked for a few years, and then I'll go back again. And
Right.
and
Right.
yeah,
Well, you know, the interesting thing about that gathering is it really is based on a real, that is the time that, you know, ranch hands and ranchers, they have some time off.
they do. That's
Right
that's-
before spring calving,
Yep.
you know, and after fall works. That's when you work on your gear, and that's when you are
Exactly.
able to get together and swap stories and songs and poems. So that is a traditional gathering time.
I'm glad you brought that
remember-
up, Mary, because that's a kind of a question that a lot of people who attend from all over the U.S. They say, well, this is wonderful, but why in the world would you have it at this time of the year? But that is the reason,
That's why.
Yeah.
because it originally was supposed to bring the men and women out of the ranch country to bring them into town, you know.
Right.
I remember Waddy telling me that first year. He said, "Well, we set out about 200 chairs, and then we had to make it about 2,000."
Yeah,
It grew from that very first one. It was just
it did.
pretty amazing.
Yeah.
Well, it's Mary Kaye needs to do that sometime. So RW, if you can put in a word for her, that'd be-
Well, absolutely.
I've got it on my vision board right in front of me.
all right.
Yeah.
Well, you have a busy schedule, and you both are going to be in Oklahoma City next month for the Wrangler Awards out there. And I didn't ask you, how many Wranglers have you won?
We've got 4.
Okay.
Wow.
3 for music, and 1 is the Chester Reynolds Founders Award, and that's one I was really.
That's a big honor.
Yeah, it really is.
It
I
really
mean,
is.
that's like that Texas Cowboy Hall of Fame. You know, anytime you win awards like that, I don't know if you're like me, Mary, but you want to go back and see who's won it in the past.
Yeah.
Mm.
And it takes your breath away, you know, like that Texas Cowboy Hall of Fame, everywhere from George Strait to Gene Autry to Aaron Watson, and you know, and
Wow.
and the same thing with that Chester Reynolds Award. So
Yeah.
It's a big
But-
deal.
yeah,
Meaningful.
It's a
Yeah.
big deal.
very meaningful, you bet.
Yeah. Well, it's going to be a fun event, and I'll miss it this year, but I'll be thinking about you guys.
Oh
And
man, you're
plan
not going
on-
to be there.
Oh.
no, but Mary Kay's bringing a friend of hers from Gone
Oh,
with the
dang it.
West, so they'll have a good time.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
you have got so much that's going on. You have a new album that's going to be dropping on May the 29th.
Yep.
You have some great music that is already out.
2
and
singles out, right?
Right.
great music videos, and we're going to take a listen and look at that first one, and that is Who. And we're going to come back and talk more with R.W. Hampton about My Country and what we can expect from that. But right now, let's take a listen to the video Who.
Thank you, sir. Who's gonna live out in the country when everybody finally moves to town? Who'll
the cattle and the fields. Watch another family ranch go down. Where you gonna buy your roast and beef steak? Where's a hungry man gonna find a loaf of bread? Who'll show our kids a country sunrise when our way of life is finally dead? Who's gonna stay? Who'll pray for rain? Who'll fight the fires when it gets dry? Who'll carry on when all of us are gone? If home on the range is just an old song from the past. We've been here 100 years this August. Granddaddy's father proved this land. Now the banker wants to see me first thing Monday. Lord, it's getting hard to make a stand. Shepherds had to up and move last Friday. Said that they weren't sure where they were bound. It's not the boss's fault, just can't afford them anymore. Another cowboy walks the streets of town. Who's gonna stay? Who'll pray for rain? Who'll fight the fires when it gets dry? Who'll carry on when all of us are gone? Is home on the range just an old song from the past? Who's gonna live out in the country when everybody finally moves to town?
Well, Daddy, we had another good day.
Yes, sir, it sure was, son. We'll get rolling again.
Great video, RW.
Wow.
Great video. I think I recognized some people in that video. Who?
Yeah, yes, but before we talk about that, I can say it's a great video without bragging, because it was Lisa's whole concept.
Oh, yes.
She had the idea in her mind. Of course, I'm always for something family, but that was the first time I'd been horseback since my open heart surgery.
Oh, wow.
So there was a lot going on there.
Wow.
Yeah.
But and we shot it at my son's ranch camp up north of here, just off the Canadian River. But anyhow, she gets the credit for it, because I was really pleased with the way that came out.
Well, it's a
I,
beautiful, beautiful video.
I
Beautiful.
would like to say, that is one thing that I really, both Gary and I are fans, R.W. Hampton fans. But when you are a fan of R.W. Hampton, you also have Lisa Hampton.
Oh man,
And
yeah.
you guys you bring your family and your marriage and your faith into everything that you do. It's so appreciated. And I have so much love for both of you, and I know Gary feels the same way. It's just good to see someone in the music industry and in the
Yeah.
movie industry who puts their family and God first. It's really beautiful.
Well, it seems to become a stylish thing now, but we were doing it, I think, not to be preachy. It's just what we're about,
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
And so, and maybe even in the early days to our own detriment. But yeah, I love I serve a mighty God, and He's given me a wonderful wife, and I got bragging rights on that.
Well, you do have, and by the way, I want to mention that we're talking about how beautiful the video is. So, if you have not subscribed to our YouTube channel yet, please do that. Equestrian Legacy Radio. You can watch this show on our YouTube channel. You can also watch it on Equestrian Legacy TV on our website at equestrianlegacy.net. And I will put this show up on social media a little bit later today, so you can check it out on social media, our website, and on YouTube as well. So you can see
Gary,
the video we're talking about.
I had to interrupt you. You were talking about people you recognized.
Yes, sir.
And the big guy in the checkered red plaid coat, that's one of my older boys.
Okay.
And then the little kid I got all my sons and my grandson, the little kid in the straw hat, and he's a top hand,
He's a good-looking young fellow.
Oh yeah,
good-looking young fellow. Yeah, I guess he got that from Lisa's side of the family.
Well, I would say it was a good cross, as we say in the horse world.
Gosh. Well, we're talking about the music and the My Country album that's coming out, that's going to be released in May the 29th. You have been featured in several movies. We talked about Wild Horses earlier today. 2 or 3 movies that Ken Spurgeon and Deb Goodrich are involved in. And you even are doing something with Jim Jones on a movie that he's got coming out, and just had.
Yeah, Jim's got an interesting concept, and I'll run you through it briefly. There's kind of a backwards way to get your project going, and I was delighted to join Jim, because I just think the world of him, and I could talk about him all day long. But that's where he had a book that he wrote. Someone wrote a screenplay for him. Well, that's wonderful, but what do you do with it? You getting it through to Paramount or someone, Taylor Sheridan or someone, is a pretty iffy thing. So they came up with the idea of the movie trailer that was shot at Santa Fe at J.W. Eves Movie Ranch. And then you take that trailer and you go around and you sit in some boardrooms and you show it to potential people that could make the thing happen.
Right. Some investors.
Yeah. And so you have people that invest. It's a crowdfunded thing. And it would be wonderful, of course, to find somebody that would put up, some pretty big money as well. But anyhow, I think it's interesting. I got to admire his grit, You got to think outside the box these days.
Well, you do. And I think you're playing the sheriff in that particular movie as well. So
yes.
Yeah, it's going to be exciting. I saw the trailer the other day. But another film that you were in was Peace River, and you were not expecting this, but I think it ties into My Country pretty well. We're going to take a listen and look at this video of Peace River, an interview that you did, and we'll be back and talk more with RW in just a moment on the Campfire Cafe.
My name's RW Hampton. I'm a singer, songwriter, actor, and rancher here in this Colfax County region of northeastern New Mexico, and I was proud to play the role of the pastor and the rodeo coach in Peace River. In my son's final years in Cimarron High School, he and another buddy decided they were going to join the Marine Corps. And I didn't know, kids change their mind, but these two didn't. And I'll never forget the day. I'll never forget the day that my wife and I and the rest of the kids drove our son to Amarillo, Texas to raise his hand to protect the Constitution. And he left. And next time we saw him, he was a United States Marine, and then through his training, he became an infantryman. He served for a while at presidential support duty, and he followed George W. Bush around on a lot of his trips and so forth. And then when he was done with that duty, he resumed his career as an infantryman, and that took him to Iraq and then Afghanistan. And, I was very proud of what he had chosen to do. I was very proud of what he had become as a man. He became a warrior, is what he became. My son is 35 now, and you can look in his eyes, and he's lived a lot more life than I will ever live. I've tried to be there for him. I haven't been where he's been. I can't give him much advice, except to be there, much like Bo Shane was for Casey, and say, I know where our trust lies, for I know whom I have believed and am persuaded that he is able to keep that which I've committed unto him against that day. And although I had not been where he has been, I couldn't say, son, I've been there. I know what I could tell him applies. And he has a tattoo on his right bicep, it's 2 Timothy 1:7, that says, for God has not given us a spirit of fear, but of power, love, and of a sound mind. And he carried that into many conflicts with him.
R.W. Hampton, a man of great faith and a lover of his country. And tell us a little bit, R.W., about the album that's dropping May 29th, My Country.
Well, My Country is, Lisa and I decided covers the whole spectrum of what my country means. To most people, it's indicative of the United States of America, which it is. But as we live in the West, our country is the Escalante staircase, or our country is the Cimarron country, or our country is, and so it's just love of where you are.
Yeah.
And
I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it kind of gives the people, Lisa and I wanted to show them where we live. This is our United States. This is our region that we raise kids and run cattle and raise horses in. And matter of fact, this is our living room.
Yeah. Well, the cool thing is Mary Kaye and I are living in Nashville now, but I've lived out in the eastern part of the state, or middle eastern part of the state. So wherever you are, in this country. You're going to find beautiful spaces. Mary Kaye went up to Gatlinburg, Tennessee, up in the Great Smoky Mountains the other day.
Yeah.
And you've been up there performing for
I
Saddle
love
Up,
it.
you know, and so we have beautiful, beautiful areas of the country, but we have great people.
You bet.
All over this country that love one another, they love God, and they love this land. And so, but yeah, when I saw that video of you talking about your son, I teared up. I mean, you were tearing up, but I teared up in this.
Yeah, that's a pretty raw deal. I mean, raw emotions. Yeah.
Yes.
But Mary would understand this as a songwriter. Someone can ask me a question about a certain day or whatever, and I can go right back to that spot and feel like I felt. And I remember what it felt like, you know, to watch my son in that group of, you know, kids. They're just kids.
Yeah.
And you know what? Kids have always done our fighting for us.
Right. Always young people.
You remember the World War II movies? They'd show the admiral with a little gray in his hair, you know, but the average age of the Marines that stormed Iwo Jima there at Mount Suribachi or Normandy, they were like from 18 to 22 years old. So I'm watching a youth of that age, you know. He had been around a little bit, but a lot of those guys had not even been out of their own county before.
Right.
And so you go through training and your country sends you to some place that you're not even sure where it is on the map, but you're trained to go do whatever you know. And I just admire the American warrior spirit.
Yes.
And, you know, I'm not going to get into politics, but I really separate politics from the kids that are putting it all out there.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
exactly.
Well, Mary Kaye is the mother of a young man who was a soldier, so she can relate to that as well.
Yep.
And
you know, in fact, I wrote a song about that too. It was his first time on a plane.
Yeah.
I mean, this is a large percentage of the military in the United States come from rural America.
Absolutely.
These are kids that, you know, grow up in small towns and they're serving their country. It's pretty impressive.
Yeah.
I remember going into Nashville, getting on a bus, riding in to be examined for the military. I'm not going to talk about all of it.
Yeah, let's not talk about this.
Over, but you know, I came back with my 1A, and this was during the Vietnam War that was going on. So,
oh my goodness.
And I was just a young guy. I was probably 17, 18 years old when I had to get on that bus and go in to be examined.
Yeah.
But anyway, the album is great. We're so looking forward to that, dropping May the 29th.
Very excited.
And there is another song that is a beautiful video. You got to go check out Equestrian Legacy Radio on YouTube and our website at equestrianlegacy.net to see this entire program and the video. But this is a great video. It's called Living Free. We're going to come back more with this great friend of ours, Mr. R.W. Hampton. We'll be back in just a moment.
long goodbyes. So I left her a little note. She couldn't keep up with me anyhow, and besides, I'm too dang broke.
I wake up in the morning, that's if I ever went to bed. Headed for the next town, can't believe that I'm not dead. I ain't too much on goodbyes, so I left her a little note. She couldn't keep up with me anyhow, and besides I'm too dang broke. Running from a memory, chasing down a dream, living off the moonlight, the wind and caffeine. I'm not here to stay too long, but I'll sing you a song. Don't be judging me, 'cause I'm just living free. All I need is these old wore-out boots and a guitar in my hand. Pretty girl to sing for, and a stage where I can stand. I might be your worst nightmare, your friend or enemy. I'm here to capture you, and then I'll up and set you free. Running from a memory, chasing down a dream, living off the moonlight, the wind and caffeine. I'm not here to stay too long, but I'll sing you a song. Don't be judging me, 'cause I'm just living free. This way of life gets out of control. That's what happens, boys, when you've got music in your soul. Running from a memory, chasing down a dream, living off the moonlight, the wind and caffeine. I'm not here to stay too long, but I'll sing you a song. Don't be judging me, 'cause I'm just living free. No, don't be judging me, 'cause I'm just living free.
Such a cool song. Great video. So again, if you can't see it now, check out Equestrian Legacy Radio on YouTube. You can catch the whole show or visit our website at equestrianlegacy.net, and you can catch it there on Equestrian Legacy TV. And RW, that is so fun. That is
well, it was fun. I got to tell you, and all the credit will go back to Lisa, but the big kid in the previous video with the red plaid coat, he's the one that wrote the song "Living Free."
Awesome.
What? Wow.
Yeah, and he wrote another song I did on my Austin to Boston album called "Rodeo Man."
Huh.
But
wow.
That's Coulter. That's Coulter.
Yeah,
right?
that's Coulter, and it comes back from his days when he was trying to rodeo on a scholarship, a rodeo scholarship. But he was also playing gigs. He wound up at the White Elephant in Fort Worth, and just trying to see where life took him.
Yeah.
But
Apple doesn't fall far from the tree, my friend.
It's interesting how that has played out. But we shot that at Elko. Lisa, well, we got up there. We had our cameraman and our son Danner, who's the kid you see in that video.
Right.
Well, none of our stuff came in. None of the cameraman's equipment didn't come in that he had to check. Our bags didn't come in.
Oh, you mean from the airline?
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
And so, and I'll just say this: they didn't come in until it was time to go back.
Oh my gosh.
And so, you know, it's almost like our own some kind of a episode of the Ricky Lucy show, you know, I Love Lucy. But we just, you know, a lot of people would have got frustrated, but Lisa, she was the leader on the deal, and she said, you know, we're just going to do it. And we stopped in Salt Lake City and picked up some camera equipment, some batteries and such that we needed. And we were contented to wear the clothes on our back. John Wright and the good folks at Capriola's loaned Danner some clothes.
Oh, wow.
Danner's guitar, I had mine in my, I don't check mine. I carry mine on. He checked his and in a flight case, and we don't know where it went, but we found it here at Amarillo when we got back.
Oh,
so
wow.
A really nice kid loaned him a guitar, and we just I was doing the different things in the convention center, my different appearances wherever I made them on the different shows, and she was in the process of doing finding the locations and casting and so forth.
Wow, Lisa, she's gifted. That is amazing.
Isn't it though?
Yeah, you know, and I've seen Lisa do this before. When everything goes to hell in a handbasket, Lisa Hampton, she's the woman you want to have around because she doesn't give up. She just digs in.
I remember being at the Wrangler Awards a couple of years ago. And RW was pacing the floor because she was not there for the dinner before the awards show started. It turned out her plane got grounded in Dallas. She took an Uber from Dallas to Oklahoma City and had to stop to buy clothes for the dinner that night because none of her luggage was there. And
those double doors open, and here she comes in. All she had missed was the salad.
Yeah, she looked great. Beautiful.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
We all stood up and gave her a standing ovation.
I said, that's my girl.
Oh, gosh. Well, again, this is a tremendous album. It's coming out May the 29th. I understand that Mary Kaye has got a duo that she's done on the album.
Yes, to me, it's kind of, I'd have to say, the star of the show. You know, really.
Good. It's
I mean, all the songs, I love them all. They're like my kids, but it's going to be exciting to see what our fans' response is going to be.
Yeah,
but I think it's going to be wonderful. And
it's a great song. Yeah.
And Mary, you sang background on some of those songs.
I did. Gosh, it was fun being in the recording studio when you were doing some of these songs. I do have to say the last video, the music video, I call him Calvin, but it's Danner, right?
Yeah. Well, it's the same boy.
Calvin Danner. It's
Calvin Danner Hampton.
My first memory of him, it was so fun seeing him as a grown man in this video. And he's such a talented young man.
Yeah, easy.
The first time I saw him, it was during the recording sessions, and he was in his swim shorts, no shirt, and his cowboy boots.
He was feeling very comfortable in his surroundings there. Yeah.
Gosh.
But
kind of fun to watch these guys grow up.
It is. For a fact.
You have some great players on the album, some legends in Western music, and you yourself. I mean, I think everybody's really excited for the album. And you've got a single dropping soon too, don't you?
Yes. Yes, I do.
Well, there's much to come and watch for.
Yes.
For my country. And
I have to, I'm trying to decide if I can tell you this much about it.
Okay.
It is a thing I did with Jake Hooker and the Outsiders.
Okay.
And it's a great Texas swing song.
Yeah.
Really upbeat. we needed to, the album, this is another Lisa thing, the album was a little heavy, and we were trying to figure out one more song we could get in the studio and record. And I wanted to use Aaron Metter, Kristen Harris's husband.
Right.
He just knows how to record my voice already.
Yeah.
And so I met Jake over the I could say that, Jake Hooker and the Outsiders. And what
we're trying to decide what to keep under wraps.
Whoa, my goodness. Yeah. Top secret stuff right here. But we recorded it live, no overdubs, which was really kind of neat to have.
Wow.
Yeah,
that adds a whole new dimension.
Yeah, it really came out nice. So I'm excited about everybody hearing that. And of course, I want to get back on with you when we debut our song together.
Yeah.
Mary sings one of the most beautiful notes. I've told her about this in recording history. It puts a knot in my throat every time I hear it. It's a great
song. Well, you are so busy. You've got the Rustler's Moon thing that you're going to be playing the sheriff in. You've got Under the Painted Skies.
Yes.
That you're working on with Ken Spurgeon, and Deb Goodrich is on that, and you've got a good cast. Tell us a few of the folks that are in that cast that are going to be showing up
for Under the Painted Sky.
Yeah.
Now he has to remember.
There's Barry Corbin in there. Mo Brings Plenty.
Right.
Awesome.
Mary McDonough, who, what a wonderful actress she is. And she played Erin on the Waltons.
Right.
For years. Wyatt McCrae plays alongside me. He plays well, let me tell you who I play then.
Okay. All right.
General Nelson Miles, which was a historical figure. What's confusing is Ken is like John Ford.
Okay.
And he uses a lot of the same people because he knows they're dependable.
Right. And they're great actors.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. And so sometimes I get the two casts mixed up, but we started this particular film at the end of COVID, kind of. Really? And it got, as things do, it got tied up in a lawsuit, a lot of lawyers involved, and then it was released back to Ken. And so we're going to finish it in a feature film format.
Oh, wow.
But no, it's going to be good. And it's another historical event.
Yeah. Well, we're looking forward to seeing that as well. You are also doing some touring. I understand you can be in Amarillo before too long performing. I think that's April the 17th.
Yes. Yep. We're just, I'm still, I think I'm ahead of schedule, but it hasn't been a year since I had the heart thing.
Right.
Had all those aftermarket parts put in, and so just trying to balance things out,
Gotcha.
Exactly.
And we're not just taking everything that when the phone rings, but just trying to choose your steps pretty careful.
Mm-hmm.
Gotcha.
That's
well,
smart.
it's always fun to have you on the show.
No, man, I love it.
I was talking the other day. We're celebrating our 14th year.
Yeah, boy.
On Equestrian Legacy Radio. 14 years. I don't know where it's gone, but it's gone by very quickly.
Yep.
And Mary Kaye was one of my early guests on the show. And I remember when we were, that was a smart move on my part. But I can remember that we were talking off air, and she said, I'm going to suggest two people that you ought to have on the show. And I said, well, who would that be? And she said, well, Brent Hill and R.W. Hampton. And I said, well, I got them both booked. And so that was almost 14 years ago. So
let me just say that both of you have impeccable taste.
Well, thank you.
Oh, gosh. In each other and our guest as well.
Yeah, absolutely. You can't beat a deal like that.
That's a cool deal. But anyway, it's hard to believe that it's been that many years and so many good friends that we've developed over the years.
Great interviews. Yeah.
Great interviews because of the great guests that we have, just like R.W. Hampton.
And I forgot to mention on the Under the Painted Sky, 2 of my boys have been cast in that as well. I had nothing to do with that.
Oh, wow.
Except Ken and Deb had met them, and Ken said, do you mind if I call them? And I said, hey, you're grown men.
Which two?
Danner and Ethan.
How about that?
Oh, awesome.
And so that'll be,
That'll be a lot of fun. That'll be a lot of fun. Well, for folks that want to find your music and find out about your tour schedule, they can visit rwhampton.com. I didn't even bother with asking you because you never know. rwhampton.com is his website. So you can find out all about that there. And RW, look forward to seeing you again real soon. Not in April, but somewhere down the road.
Yeah.
But, we're going to close out this segment with another song and a video from Elko. And it's kind of cool because in this particular song, it's an Ian Tyson song, but Danner is in it as well as Jim Jones.
Yes.
We're going to take a listen and a look, and look forward to having you back, RW. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, RW.
Thank you guys for having me.
All right. And thank Lisa for all of her help.
Absolutely.
Together
we rearranged the whole room here now. Now, I got to go vacuum as soon as this is over with.
You do it.
Money's everything.
All right. We'll be back in just a moment with Mary Kaye. Stay with us.
Never hit 17 when you play against the dealer, 'cause you know that the odds won't ride with you. Never leave your woman alone when your friends around a dealer, they'll be gambled and gone like summer wages. So we'll keep rolling on till we get to Vancouver, and the one that I love is waiting there. It's been 6 long months or more since I've seen her. Maybe they're gambled and gone like summer wages. In all the beer parlors all down along Main Street, the drinks of the seasons are all spilled out on the floor. And the big stands of timber just waiting there for falling, and the hookers standing watchfully waiting by the door. So I'll work on the towboats in my slippery city shoes, something that I swore I would never do again. Through the great fog-bound straits where the cedars stand awaiting, I'll be far off and gone like summer wages. Oh, she's a woman so fine, I may never try to find her for good memories or what we had before. They should never be changed, for they're all that I'll take with me now. I've gambled my summer wages. In all the beer parlors all down along Main Street, the dreams of the seasons are all spilled out on the floor. And the big stands of timber just waiting there for falling, and the hookers standing watchfully waiting by the door. Seasons are all spilled out on the floor, and the big stands of timber just waiting there for falling, and the hookers standing watchfully waiting by the door. So son, never hit 17 when you play against the dealer, 'cause you know that the odds won't ride with you. Don't you leave your woman alone when your friends around to steal her, they'll be gambled and gone like summer wages. All the years are gambled and gone like summer wages. Thank you all.
Well, we'd like to take a moment to thank our fine sponsors of Equestrian Legacy Radio. Those are the sponsors you'll find on our website at equestrianlegacy.net, the general store where you'll find everything for the horse lover and folks that just love the equestrian and Western lifestyle, and our Legacy Select horse campgrounds and guest ranches for the finest riding destinations in North America. Be sure and visit our Legacy Select horse campgrounds and guest ranches, and you'll find all of those on our website at equestrianlegacy.net. Well, darling, what'd you think about the show today?
I'm just such a fan of RW's music, but also just, just good friends. It's what a lovely conversation. And it always is with him.
Well, it's always fun to visit with RW.
Because he speaks from the heart. And when he's on stage, that is the sincerity and what comes through on stage as well. It's so refreshing. So
he's a genuine guy.
Yeah.
And that's what makes him special, I think, for me anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Well, thanks for joining us today. We want to remind you,
yes,
to tune in on Tuesdays for Live from Nashville, on Saturdays for Saddle Up America, and of course on Thursdays for the Campfire Cafe. Thanks to you around the world for listening to our shows. Be sure and visit us now on YouTube at Equestrian Legacy Radio so you can see all the things we've been talking about today and the great videos that we're sharing with folks as well. Darling, talk to you soon. We'll be back next Thursday for the Campfire Cafe. We're going to close the show today with our good friends Rodeo and Juliet with the El Paso Kid and New York Lady. See you next time.
The El Paso Kid,
El Paso Kid,
and the New York lady. They fell in love down in Texas, then they ran away to Tennessee. The El Paso Kid,
El Paso Kid,
and the New York lady. They caught the train to Colorado, and the rest is still a mystery. Well, she broke him out of jail, but only under one condition. Had to take her with him, and off they rode into the night. He said all that he could give her was the life of a gambler. So she bet on love, then she rolled the dice. The El Paso Kid,
El Paso Kid,
and the New York lady. They fell in love down in Texas, then they ran away to Tennessee. The El Paso Kid,
El Paso Kid,
and the New York lady. They caught the train to Colorado, and the rest is still a mystery. Settled down for a while in their hideaway, they got restless. Tired of dodging bullets, babe, it's time for moving on. Not afraid of change, not afraid of taking chances. Then they found another thrill, just when they thought the thrill was gone. The El Paso Kid,
El Paso Kid,
and the New York lady. They put it all on black, then they let it ride and let it be. The El Paso Kid,
El Paso Kid,
and the New York lady. Well, the wheel keeps on spinning, and life is still a mystery.